Ancient Greece, known as Hellas in Greek, was a civilization located in the northeastern Mediterranean region. It thrived from the Greek Dark Ages, spanning from the 12th to the 9th centuries BC, until the conclusion of classical antiquity around 600 AD. This remarkable era consisted of a loose alliance of culturally and linguistically related city-states and other territories. Notably, these regions experienced a brief period of official unification under Alexander the Great's empire, lasting for 13 years from 336 to 323 BC. Following the collapse of Mycenaean Greece during the Late Bronze Age, Greek city-states began to emerge in the 8th century BC, marking the onset of the Archaic period and the expansion of Greek influence across the Mediterranean basin. This development paved the way for the Classical Greek era, spanning from the Greco-Persian Wars to the 5th to 4th centuries BC. This period also encompassed the renowned Golden Age of Athens. The conquests of Alexander the Great played a pivotal role in disseminating Hellenistic civilization, spreading it from the western Mediterranean to Central Asia. Eventually, the Hellenistic era concluded as the Roman Republic conquered the eastern Mediterranean world. This conquest included the annexation of the Roman province of Macedonia in what was known as Roman Greece, and later, the province of Achaia during the Roman Empire. Classical Greek culture, with a special emphasis on philosophy, exerted a profound influence on ancient Rome. Rome propagated a version of this culture throughout the Mediterranean region and large parts of Europe. Consequently, Classical Greece is widely regarded as the cradle of Western civilization, serving as the foundational culture from which many of the fundamental principles and ideas in politics, philosophy, science, and art that define the modern West originated. Classical antiquity in the Mediterranean region is typically believed to have commenced around the 8th century BC, coinciding with the emergence of Homer's earliest recorded poetry, and continued until the 6th century AD. The inception of classical antiquity in Greece followed a phase known as the Greek Dark Ages, spanning approximately from 1200 to 800 BC. Archaeologically, this era is defined by pottery designs featuring protogeometric and geometric styles. Subsequent to the Dark Ages came the Archaic period, commencing in the 8th century BC. During this time, early developments in Greek culture and society set the stage for the Classical period, which extended from the Persian invasion of Greece in 480 BC to the demise of Alexander the Great in 323 BC. The hallmark of the Classical period is its classical style, widely regarded as exemplary, famously epitomized in the Parthenon of Athens. Politically, this era was marked by the dominance of Athens and the Delian League in the 5th century. However, it saw a shift in power to Spartan hegemony in the early 4th century BC, followed by Thebes and the Boeotian League, ultimately culminating in the League of Corinth led by Macedon. This period was profoundly influenced by pivotal events like the Greco-Persian Wars, the Peloponnesian War, and the ascent of Macedon. Subsequent to the Classical period, the Hellenistic period unfolded from 323 to 146 BC. During this era, Greek culture and influence spread into the Near and Middle East, starting with the passing of Alexander and culminating in the Roman conquest. Roman Greece's timeline is often marked from the Roman victory over the Corinthians at the Battle of Corinth in 146 BC until the establishment of Byzantium as the Roman Empire's capital by Constantine in 330 AD. Finally, late antiquity encompasses the period of Christianization from the later 4th to the early 6th centuries AD. This transformation was punctuated by the closure of the Academy of Athens by Justinian I in 529 AD. The historical epoch of ancient Greece holds a distinctive place in the annals of world history as it marks the first era recorded comprehensively through narrative historiography. In contrast to earlier periods, which are predominantly known from fragmented sources like annals, king lists, and pragmatic epigraphy, ancient Greece emerges as a pioneer in the direct documentation of its history. Herodotus, often hailed as the founder of historical inquiry, stands as a central figure in this remarkable era. His magnum opus, the Histories, stands as a namesake for the entire field of historical study. Penned between the 450s and 420s BC, Herodotus' work delves into events spanning about a century into the past. He discusses prominent historical figures of the 6th century BC, including Darius I of Persia, Cambyses II, and Psamtik III, while also alluding to personalities from the 8th century BC, such as Kendals. However, the veracity of Herodotus' accounts remains a topic of scholarly debate. Following in the footsteps of Herodotus were a succession of authors, including Thucydides, Xenophon, Demosthenes, Plato, and Aristotle. Most of these luminaries hailed from Athens or held pro-Athenian sentiments, which accounts for the wealth of knowledge available on the history and politics of Athens in comparison to many other Greek cities. Notably, their historical narratives predominantly focus on political, military, and diplomatic events, often sidelining economic and social history.